Man, what it do, world? It's your boy, the Toothless Wonder, reporting again from the Bamboozled Again News Network. I'll start off like this, boy. Idol worship, hell of a drug. Man, darn near everything hell of a drug nowadays. Idol worship, clout, attention, sexual deviancy. These are all the characteristics and traits that one may hold that end up being the thing that drop you. That's why I'm very diligent, me, myself, to be in control of myself, and control of my desires, control of my emotions. Because let's be honest, nowadays, anything you can't control, you might have a run with it. But anything you can't control or manage or stop when you feel the need to do so, just end up having you looking terrible out here. So of course, they locked Diddy up. The feds came, got him. I don't know, this simulation is so whatever. I'm not necessarily convinced that is whatever. However, I do believe that in light of recent circumstances, of what use is he now to, the system? You know what I mean? Consumer, because of the economy, I don't know how much we can continue to peddle consumerism. So we don't need you sell us nothing or sell, you know what I mean? The music industry is about dead. They didn't punish that into the earth with the quality thereof. They had to run with that. So we don't necessarily need you to promote music or to be in one of those type of leadership. And this ain't no different than on your job. Once we had no more use for you, we just chuck you to the side, act like we don't know you. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing personal, just business. And I like to believe these people know this, but it's all good when you doing it, but it ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. And now that man's whole legacy is destroyed, yo. He will eventually, him and his lineage, will have this scarlet, what they call this, like a scarlet letter over them for the rest of their lives, yo. Even if you is related to them, had nothing to do with it, you'll kind of want to distance yourself, like, nah, ain't nothing like cuz, you know what I'm saying? But then what happens after this? Does he inform on the Jay-Z's? You know what I'm saying? I want him in jail bad. I'm tired of him. I'm tired of just people who, idol. It's like what they call it, it's almost like everything here is a spell. It's like the glamour spell has fallen off. Like these people who you may have esteemed or like they get down for whatever reason. Now we're coming to find out they're horrible people. This is in light of, Pee Wee Longway, who he's known, but not like nationally speaking. He got jammed up in one of the largest, if not the largest, drug busts in U.S. history. He's done, unless he tells. But with that amount, how can you? Yeah, you'll get out in 20 years. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, yo. These various people who have been esteemed in society, like your Vivica Foxes, with all the success she's had. She's 60 some years old and now saying she's ready to settle down. Who gonna settle down with Vivica Fox at 60? You see what I'm saying? Unless you just smash on young folk and trick off on them. Or get one, like an out of jail dude or something just to have somebody. But other than that, she's finished. She's done. This is sometimes, y'all, man, I find myself at a loss for words to accurately like quantify what I'm saying. And not just in Hollywood. I'm saying this in regular life. Whether it be on your job, and people playing these reindeer games for $1 promotion. You know what I'm saying? This almost cannibalistic, social cannibalistic version of society. Like I said, the way my eyeballs work when I see various social groupings, it don't be built on or forged in real brotherhood or, anything of substance. It just be groups of individuals clicking up for the purposes of clout. You know what I'm saying? But they'll be the first one to throw each other in the bus. Or to say something happened. Oh, I don't know him. But you got 20 pictures with the man talking about you don't know him. You know what I'm saying? There's no real principles or ethics that nobody is governing themselves by. You see what I'm saying? It's just amazing to take place in real time. And this is just yet another indicator that Babylon is falling. We have, now I don't even know if there's officially a president that's running the country. Now, you had Trump. I'm assuming I didn't get into the articles, but he had another assassination attempt. And all this happened within the last week. He's had another assassination attempt. I don't know if that was, my opinion about the first one or whatever the case may be. Everyone, to me, seems to be enamored with Kamala. However, she's, misrepresented who she is depending on who she's talking to. The tax plan or the economic plan she has, for anybody who's, just understands economics on an elementary level, know this is detrimental to an economy that's already on life support, and they're still praising her for nothing else. I'm not praising her because I like her. I'm praising her because I don't like him. Like I said, it's an insane asylum masquerading a free society. You know what I mean? Then again, like with Pee Wee, right? Grant, I didn't really see him, doing interviews. I know he just did one, I think on I forgot what channel that is. But, it's just so crazy how people, and I said this about the old job, like how people will do dirt, but then do the dirt right in front of everybody, not do their due diligence to, cover their tracks, and then get upset when it's found out. You did it in front of everybody, yo. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's just the mental capacity of folks is just insane. It's like they can't control themselves, or they have the inability to operate with sound judgment in anything that they do. You know what I'm saying? That's it's insane. Literally, it's literally insane. We talk about the opioid epidemic and things of that nature. What about the mental health epidemic in society, yo? This is insane. Coupled with the fact, like marriages and modern dating, relationship, whatever you want to call it. Me personally, I don't understand why anybody would even, a man, I'll say that, why a man would even involve himself in modern dating at this point, other than just splacking and going on about your business, if that's what you choose to do. And I do know people who have, functional relationships, but in mass, in totality, they are a minuscule number from just the wickedness I see people who are so say in relationships. I remember back in the day, like, let's say, woman choose to cheat. Typically, the dude was either smooth or he had more money or he slow cooked her over a period of time and chipped away at her. That's not what's happening now. These women are cheating, not for any of those reasons, and they will do it for that reason. They're doing it just because the opportunity presents itself. I know a plethora of women who have cheated on their significant others and cheated down. You see what I'm saying? You really can't win. Because let's say, you a regular brother such as myself in the financial bracket, then she may cheat with a dude who seemingly has more than you. But let's put it on the flip side of it, and let's say you realize, let's say you in the 6-figure range, she'll just cheat with a dude who got more time. You see what I'm saying? And it's not really, and I think brother used to think it was them or something deficient as far as them as a man or woo. It's not that. What it is the fact that they can, and there's no social consequence for it. You see what I'm saying? She can do you greasy and still take half your stuff and still make it hard for you to see your kids. And she's the one dead wrong. And nobody's going to call her out for it en masse. You know what I'm saying? Like the elders of the family ain't going to do nothing. If they're still around, they're getting phased out. Hopefully, preferably going to the upper room. You know what I'm saying? It's not like her friends who were like, no, girl, you were wrong. You know how like back in the day, the version, the home wrecker, like that's almost like a non-existent used term anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like you didn't want to be known as a home wrecker. Like, just like as a man, you ain't want to be known as a chump or something like that. There's no social consequence for the stuff that's actually helping to erode society. But then on the flip side of it, if you, let's say, don't operate like that in totality, you know what I'm saying? then you'll have people attempting to throw a monkey wrench in what you got going on because you nothing like them. So you must be very diligent to protect you, yours, your family, your way of life, so on and so forth. Because the people who understand you're nothing like that will attempt to stop what you're doing when you just minding your own business. You know what I'm saying? This is a weird construct to the point where it seems like every day more and more, as best I can help it, in wisdom and application, I don't want to fool with none of this stuff, yo. It's not because it's not becoming of where I'm at internally. I don't find any of it purposeful or enjoyable. I really don't want to go to the football game. I'd rather be on YouTube watching videos. You see what I'm saying? I don't want to go I don't drink no more. I don't want to go to the lounge and just be social. Because it don't do nothing for me. I'd rather be at the park doing pull-ups in the middle of the night. You know what I'm saying? I find that more purposeful, more harmonious and uplifting to myself. You know what I'm saying? It's just what we're seeing in Hollywood and these various quote-unquote celebrities. Now we're saying, like, we might have esteemed them for financial purposes or, fame and all that type of stuff. But now I think the glamour spell is losing its power. And now we're saying these people are horrible human beings. You got all this money, but you're still depressed, or you're in bad health, or you're doing all this wickedness behind closed doors that'll have people looking at you like, God darn, you know what I'm saying? How you got and now people are disassociating themselves with you. One, they don't want to be, they don't want to seem like they out that mile because they see me with you, and then on top of it, they're doing it. One, because it's not real friendship or nothing, and two, they're probably doing the same thing. So they don't want you to inform on them so they can continue to do their dirt. Like I've seen this on the workplace. I've seen sisters two sisters, right? They both got men at home, but they're actually beefing on the job because they both had the same side piece, yo. Like, I'm just, I don't know. Me myself, I got like an inquisitive kind of mind. So I'm like, yo, what is going through these people's minds to, like, even with me when I used to shuck and jive, and I used to do dirt, but my dirt had like a ceiling to it. I ain't going but so far with this. One, if I feel like I can't handle the consequence, I ain't just gonna do it. So then, let's say I do get caught, whatever it is, I just go ahead and own up to it. And I think that might have been why I got some grace. You know what I'm saying? And it's been a significant, at least 15 to 17 years. And I knew it was stupid at the time. I just didn't have the application to operate a different way. But I'm just like, what are we getting out of this here? It's almost like everyone in America is under a spell, yo. Just like you can show them evidence of X, Y, Z, and they still will disregard it, which ties into, the cognitive dissonance or the mental health that's going undiagnosed out here. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm just like, just interacting with people and dealing with people. And, it's just, nope, like, I don't know, yo. It's just crazy, yo. Like, promptness, like, okay, with me, right? Let's say I'm doing business or me and whoever else is communicating about whatever. Just fundamental stuff. I make sure I reply in a timely fashion. I'm prompt. I've done my due diligence. I'm prepared. Normally I get it, if I got to be somewhere, I'm there like at least half hour early. Especially if I ain't been there, I'm probably hovering around an hour before. Just in case hiccup, I want to stop and get some coffee, traffic, right? Just those various, like, just regular stuff. People have lost the inability to do that. You folk be out here wasting your time. Then they come up with all these cockamamie excuses, don't make no sense. Then they get mad at you when you don't believe what they telling you. Because what you see and what you see them do and what you hear them say don't match up, and you call them on it. Then they act like they mad with you. Like, it's almost like people are morphing into something other than human. And I don't know if the Jab Babula got something to do with it. I don't know if whatever CERN's doing, if that got something to do with it. Like, people who I've known for years and they look the same from memory. they're starting to look different to me, even though they look like somebody I knew. Again, I keep saying how I think that, you know how like when somebody died, like I've went through this, right, where like let's say someone I knew died, right, and I go to the funeral and there's kind of a disconnect because whatever's laying in the casket isn't reflective of what I connected with. The part that I connected with or built a rapport with is gone somewhere else. That's just the shell laying there. Now I'm starting to see people as shells. Whatever essence they had that made them unique to themselves is gone. So I'm seeing you. You look familiar from memory. But whatever it was that made us connect is no longer there. You know what I'm saying? If that make any sense. It's like people are becoming dead to me who are still physically alive and breathing air. I've been stopped, like, I still listen to certain types of mainstream rap music or music from, maybe later on, depending on if I'm working out or I just like the cadence of the beat. Maybe that do something for me. But these rapping dudes, like they all wow. And not even wild like in a regular like 90s hood sense wild. Like they might sleep around or, you know what I'm saying? They might get in an altercation. I ain't talking about all that. They dressing wild. You know what I mean? They be having these wild folk around them. Like everything in America is dying, yo. I just watched a video from Minister Jack where he said the manosphere and the red pill content is dead, and he's disassociated himself and started his own movement. You know what I'm saying? Because what started out as brothers comparing notes and sharing information has now become the king of the manosphere is actually a white woman, and he like who let her in here? And she's doing nothing but saying all the same stuff they've been saying for 10 years, and now she's getting all the subscribers and people are backing her up and co-signing like what where they do that at? You know what I'm saying? They're letting, those of the alternative persuasion into the manosphere. Why are we talking to them? Or why are we listening to them, rather? You know what I'm saying? Sexual deviants, people who have known sexual, misconduct charges. They're now hopping on these platforms and giving you game about women. And I feel it. Like I'm like every day more and more, I just find myself disassociating myself from things that I used to subscribe to. I don't know if I'm outgrowing it or it's taking another course or a combination of the two. I'm almost to the point of moving myself away from certain chosen ones' talking points. You see what I'm saying? Because if we're all chosen here, quote unquote, whether you believe it to be scripturally or just you just want to believe that just for the sake of believing it, there's a great disconnect within the chosen ones community. It's like everything is being attacked, or anything that could be useful has now been infiltrated. So now we have chosen ones who are beefing with one another and name calling, and I ain't talking about just flash, whoop de whoop, then you going about your business. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about like for weeks on end. Like the chosen one's content isn't about like help. It's not helpful. It's not inspirational. It's not uplifting. It's become chosen ones making content about other chosen ones, and everyone attempting to point out flaw. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're fighting for the product, which would be us, the subscribers or the viewers, for the most part. You know what I'm saying? And I got a topic, and I'll segue into this. And I really don't want to cover this, yo. And that's why I kind of was on social media for a minute, just mulling over it. You know what I'm saying? Now, I ain't saying that's nothing about nothing, but again, it's the Bamboozle Getting News Network. So I'm down by law to report the news as I see it, right? Now, for those who are aware of what's going on in the quote-unquote chosen ones community with various content creators, I was doing whatever I was doing, and the brother Brainwaves, and I've had my, opinions about how I see individuals conducting themselves, right? So he's made, I think, if he does one a day, he might be up to chapter 10 on exposing another brother on YouTube named New Breed, right? So I'm like, this overkill. And I've been kind of predicted this and I don't think I predicted it. It's just, I just see the behavior and know where it's going, right? So I think yesterday or the day before, he was on number 9. It might have been the day before. He was on number 8 or 9 or something like that. So for whatever reason, I guess I didn't have any content, or I just clicked on it. But after about the second one, like I had stopped. It would just pop on my joint. New Breed Exposed or Hypocrisy, Chapter 3, Chapter 4, Chapter. So I didn't check any of those out. But for whatever reason, I think this was 8, if I ain't mistaken. For some odd reason, I decided to click on it. And this, to me, and ain't nobody got an answer to me or nothing. But this one gave me some pause for the cause. Granted, I would like to say I'm sided with individuals who have been instrumental to my walk, and I also say, like my man from Houston told me, you put any man under a strong enough microscope, you're bound to find some flaws. However, this one really took me back, and I really mauled over it. Like, what did I hear? How valid could it be? Cause this one here is something, right? So he brings on a young. I didn't get a chance to catch her name. And she attests that she was actually the first one on the land in North Carolina at UP Farms. So I'm thinking this is a credible source. This isn't just somebody, orbiting or, whatever. This was the first woman on the land, yo. And I'll share something with y'all. So, I'm paraphrasing basically what she said. She said, I think she was in New York, kicking it, whatever. She was ready to get out of New York, through New Breed. She's hearing about the land initiative. I guess she reaches out, but I think according to her, she wasn't really getting any replies or whatever. So I think she ended up talking to the landowner, Mike, personally, if I am not mistaken. Just to shorten it up, she basically says that her experience of her being the first person on the land was a complete debacle. She says she had to pay for water heaters and generators. I think a trailer, and I think I remember New Breed saying something about this, where their trailer that they had certain items in was broken into. She basically attests that her experience with the landowner, Mike, were so whatever, that she's now living in Jacksonville. She says she went to the National Day of Repentance in D.C., in which I also went to. But I was so whatever with not them or the event. Like I couldn't get, like, I don't know if it was a demonic attack or whatever. I couldn't get no sleep. Then I couldn't get no park. I'm not real familiar with DC like that. And I was just so tired. I ended up driving all the way back to the shore. You know what I'm saying? But she said she was there as well. And she said this is hearsay. But they were trying to figure out how she had got on the land first, because according to what people had told her, or hearsay, and I got an ID card, that they were saying at that time that you had to have a national ID card and you had to pay $2,000 to get onto the land. I don't know how true that is. And she said she don't have receipts for that, but that's what she had heard. She said she got turned up because the landowner, Mike, was going to sell her a firearm that wasn't what they discussed, the type of firearm, and that the price had went up. She said, once she addressed him on that, and it was another issue they had that, they couldn't see eye to eye on. She started making her harder for him. She said when she went to the court, or to the court to see like what kind of rights did she have, she said she was basically, because of, I guess, lack of paperwork, I'm assuming, she was basically a squatter. So if their stuff was, her stuff was on the side of the road, she had no legal recourse to stand on if they so happened to choose to do that. And then listening to this, the portion of that part that I got to hear, I'm like, this just ain't any old body. You know what I'm saying? Just thinking, like, this just ain't any old body. Like, this is someone who was actually on the land. She made some articulation about Iwitazai. She said she never taught the breed like that. It was mostly the landowner, Mike, and I guess maybe the maintenance guy, Tyrone, or something. She said Tyrone was great. But it just gave me pause for the cause, like, and then with my experience, and then me trying to do certain things, sometimes I be wondering, is it even meant for me to do this? You know what I'm saying? Like, am I putting my efforts in the wrong direction? Not saying that in and of itself is the wrong direction. It might not be the direction for me. You see what I'm saying? So in light of that, um, like certain things I've been trying to facilitate that haven't been working, and then I caught a good video yesterday about expect the unexpected. Like typically, nothing works the way I plan for it to work. It just works out. You know what I'm saying? With me getting various skill trades and you know different things I'm delving into financially to obtain certain resources that I feel are necessary for the times we're headed into. It's not working. It's been real frustrating. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm doing my like. So now I done kind of pulled back. I'm not saying I'm gonna stop working on stuff and all. I'm gonna just stop being tied to the outcome. And I've been said this when I was in Baltimore when wasn't nothing working and couldn't get nowhere and muster up no go. He lead me somewhere. And I might not start coming up till everything else start falling down. And I think simultaneously that's what's happening not in my personal life, but if you look at society, um, the idols are falling and the common man and the common woman are rising. You know what I'm saying? But I felt the need to cover that because again, this is the Bamboos Again News Network. Now I'm not saying or trying to attempt to interject my personal opinion into something I know nothing of, but I have to report the news. And I'll definitely say that news, that particular broadcast Brainwave did, it stunned me. It shook me back because again, this is a first-hand account knowledge. This is the first woman on the land, and now she's no longer on the land. Granted, everything ain't gonna go right. Granted, uh, you got to work with folk to a degree, da da da. But but because of my own prior experiences, I'm starting to think now we should gather ourselves together. But now I'm starting to think maybe, not saying maybe we shouldn't attempt to do that, but when it actually does happen, it'll be because the Most High did it, yo. Because even if you look at like the Black Panthers, Black Wall, anytime we've tried to come together, it don't work, or get infiltrated, or get blowed up. Even with me, I'm thinking I'm only allowed to go but so far. Because the stuff I've tried and do and whatever, I've seen other people do it flawlessly. Not that I judge myself, but I know they're not smarter than me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, this might be one of them type of situations where, what did they actually do to get out of Egypt? Other than the orders they gave them about putting the blood on the doorpost and all that. You see what I'm saying? But they couldn't conspire to get themselves out of Egypt, even if they wanted to. I read a story in Maccabees about the tribe of Levi. I think attempting to do something to the effect of like go to war with some other nation that would have like put them in good graces with the Egyptians or something like that. Or something to that effect. But either way, they tried to do it under their own power, you know what I'm saying, volition. And God punished them for it. You got to take this. Just like my personal situation. I'm done trying to get out of it. Yes, I want to lead a country. Yes, I would like to experience a more natural version of a woman. Not even just for like procreation purpose. Just to see it. Just to be in the environment of it. Because I'm tired around these no-limit soldier women's that I ain't going to be able to do nothing with. You know what I'm saying? Unless I was in the world, which I'm not. You see what I'm saying? I want more natural food. And that may or may not come. But in the meantime, tween time, I just hold up and be sustained in the spot where I had. I guess that's, part of, the breaking of my will like I talked about. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to so bad. Because I feel so out of place here. Don't nothing make no sense to me. How even, like, in our local community, how we'll esteem these people who are actually the people who are responsible for the state, for the bad state the community in. But we lift these people up. But the person who has an exemplary track record of not selling out or doing right by folk and da-da-da, it's almost like you Stevie Wonder to people. Or people see and it becomes Stevie. It's like you're invisible. Unless they can benefit from you. You know what I'm saying? That's it. I don't know, yo. It's just free range thoughts, you know what I mean? It's real in the battlefield. I don't even know what else to just, and I can articulate it to myself, but to hop on here and give some type of discourse, it'd be very fragmented because all these different subject matters all tie in together. So it's all convoluted. That's why I cover different topics that seemingly aren't related, but they are related in the sense of describing, or we're tracking the progress of the sophistication of evil in real time. And ultimately, what you should do in response to such. And other than just keep the faith, that's all you can do. And on that note, you know the move, man. Cover your sex. Signing off. Ooh-ah.